advanced Excel, which you guys should master this. And why is it that today I bring in this comparison of Xlookup, the Vlookup, and another one called Dget functions, Dget function. So they all perform the same task. You get the same results with each and every of these, but the reason why I'm bringing it is that Xlookup has its own limitation. Vlookup has its own limitation. Dget function has its own limitation. But at the end of it, you need to know to play with them. A good limitation is that Xlookup is not available in Microsoft Excel 365. And if it is not available, it's not that you are not going to do your work because Xlookup is not there in 2016 version and going downward. But Vlookup is available there. So the only Excel version which Xlookup is available is 365 Excel or the Google Sheet or the Google Sheet, Excel sheet. So that's why that is the one of the limitation, even though there is other small limitation, but that is the big one. So you find that we develop the payroll Excel using Excel, but if you give a payroll template to another person, you have used Xlookup, but Xlookup is not there. Okay, so which function have you ever used? So I know you have tried one or two, but you haven't got the concept. So the first we will going to look at the comparison between the Xlookup and the Vlookup. That is the first comparison, the Xlookup and the Vlookup. Here I have the data with the countries, and then we have the product and the sales value Now, the purpose of this lookups function is that you use lookup function to extract the specific value of your criteria. For a good example is here, we have the counties. So we want to know what was the value of sales of what? Mombasa County. So that is the use of this lookup value. It is to extract or to look for a specific data from the wide range of data. That is the function of this Excel. Now, I do advise my student to name the table first, or if you don't know how to use the shortcut keys, then you can't easily name your table. How? If you select this data, select up to that, Control-Shift page down, Control-Shift page down, you will be able to select the entire data. But if you look at up here, this data is not labeled. It is not labeled. It is written B2. What does that mean? We have not labeled our data. We have not labeled our data. So if you don't want to be using each and every time the shortcut keys, then you can label your data here by just backspacing that and do what? And write the data So that is the best way of approaching this lookup function. But you need to know the shortcut keys on how to select the data very quickly. So maybe I can't label it data. But so if you label it data, you just write the name. I've said the first procedure is to do what? To select the headings. Use the shortcut keys, Control-Shift page down. They will select the entire data. And then go back here, backspace that and write data. And then click enter. So we have already now named our data. So if I select again here, Control-Shift down, you can see, no, it pick ingefai to pay data. So the reason is we are using tables. This is tables. We have put the tables here, but that is the procedure, how to name the table. But the reason why it's not picking is that we have converted this one into table. Now let's use the Vlookup. So I will come here, say Vlookup, the Vlookup, this is the function. So the lookup value here is we are trying to get the value of sales from the Mombasa County. So our lookup value is Mombasa County, which is in what? F4. F4. You put a comma, it will ask you the table array. The table array. The table array is our entire data here. So but VLOOKUP has its own limitation. So let's try this one and see whether we will get the results. So you select this, shift controlled page down. You will select the entire data and then comma. It will ask you the column index number. It will ask you the column index number. The column index number we have to count. Number one, counties equal column B, which is 1, 2, 3. So sales are under column 3. So we are going to write 3 and then put another comma. So if you look at here, Event Excel is telling you what to do next. So the next is asking us for the range lookup. So the range lookup, that interruption, our network. So let me share again. So say it there. After putting the comma, it will ask you two options. We have the true or approximate, and we have the false, which is exact match. So it is recommended to use exact match because this one will give you exact match. So you can either click this or write 0. You can click this or write 0. If you don't want to use the false, you can write 0. And then you close the bracket. Enter. You will get the value here, which is 66566. Let's confirm whether the value of Mombasa is that one. Yes. So if we see here, this is the value of what? Mombasa County. This is the value of Mombasa County. So that's great. VLOOKUP does good thing, but it has its own limitation. That's why we are looking at the comparison so that you can know which one are you going to pick. And make sure I've shared the link in our chat so that if you didn't register using our link, you can register again so that you can get this Excel template, and also you will get the video of the class. So another thing is that, remember, the purpose of us accountant learning this advanced Excel is to make things more automatic, or we automate our task. So I also recommend here, instead of typing this each and every time, if we need Nakuru County, you just copy paste Nakuru County, paste your value here, you get the sales of Nakuru County. But I don't recommend copy pasting here. Instead, we need to use what is called a drop-down list. A drop-down list. How do we use that drop-down list? Put the cursor here, go to data, and then here in data, we have this option. I know I'm using 365 Excel. So if you are not using 365 Excel, if you go there, you can see the data validation written here. But for this one, it has a drop-down list here. So I will click data validation. Data validation, I have to wait for a minute so that I can get this small icon here. Now, here it is. So once you have this one, come here, go to the list. From the list, we have the source. Put your cursor in the source and select your source here. So our source is this one. Our source is that one. Enter. You can write them if you wish, and then you click OK. So now each time you come here, you will realize we have a drop-down list here, which I can have all the list of the counties. So if I want Kakamega County, I just click Kakamega County. I get the value of Kakamega here. So that is the work of the VLOOKUP. And it is not limited to this application on, it has unlimited application for this VLOOKUP. So if you want any county, you can use that one. Now, the Xlookup, it does the same function. It has the same function, only that if VLOOKUP, sometime inakupeanga hash error and the data are correct. That's why, that is the first limitation here. Xlookup, VLOOKUP. Now we go to the Xlookup. I've said Xlookup, it is only available in 365 Microsoft Excel. So if you write equals Xlookup, you can be able to see the Xlookup. The same procedure, it will ask you the lookup value. So our lookup value again. So if you have any questions, kindly post on the chat. So I will use the Mombasa, comma. It will ask us the lookup array. So the lookup array now here, we need first the counties, which is Mombasa or whichever the county there. So the first array, the lookup array is column B. In this case, we are not going to select the old data, just a specific column. So we'll use column B, and it is recommended you locked the formula. Which Excel functions do we use to lock the formula? If you have been in my class, you know how to lock it. We use F4. There's other keyboard which we don't have. If you press F4, you don't get the $sign. So you have to do combination of Fn plus F4. So let me use combination there. I get my $signs there. And then comma, it will ask me the return array. The return array now is the column of sales. We want to get the sales. So it is the column of sales, which is column D. I also locked that column. Oh, not that one. Fn 4 plus 4. Yes, that's good. And that this one, we don't need the return column. What you just close the bracket and get the your answer. So let's copy, let's do also data validation. Let's do the data validation also here. Let's do the data validation here. Okay, let's select Nakuru. Which one do we have up there? Kakamega. It gives us the same value. Now, with these two functions, which one is more powerful or which one is easy within the two, Xlookup and Vlookup? Wesley, which one is easy? So in my view, it depends. Some other people like complicated things, but other people like simple things. So in my view, Xlookup here is much easy compared to Vlookup. Reason is here we only need the lookup value and only we need the column. We need the column only. But here we need the entire data and then we need the return period. You see, so it's quite challenging. And Xlookup is always flexible. Xlookup is always flexible. So try to get this 365 Excel and you will be able to perform your work. Now we have done with the first comparison, Vlookup versus Xlookup. Now we go to the second comparison. Before I introduce a new Excel function, which I know most of you have never noticed, called we want to do the comparison of index match and the Vlookup. So we can choose, before I introduce this one, I want to use an index formula here so that you can't, which one? This one, yes. This one also you can get all the results of this using the Vlookup, the Xlookup, and the match, but also it depends that which value are you getting. So we can't need, let's first try to use the index match so that we can see. So you have to know how to use the index match function, This one, I normally use it when doing the data financial modeling. So if you go here, write the index, and then the lookup array, it will ask you the lookup array. The lookup array is your old data, which is this one. So select this and then press shift page down to select your entire data. So once you select your entire data, where is our formula? When you select your entire data, you put the comma and then write match. So if you write match, it will ask you for the lookup. The lookup array. The lookup array is counties here, which is Kisii. In this case, we have selected Kisii, comma. It will ask you the array, the lookup array. The lookup array is counties, which is column B. You put that column B. You can't lock or no, or you decided to unlock, and then comma, it will ask you for exact match. We say to use 0 for exact match. So if I use 0 for exact match, I close the bracket. I put another, that was the first scenario. Remember this one, we have two scenarios. This one, we have two scenarios. The scenario 1 is values in the countries, and the second scenario is the month, which we need the month of April. That's why I'm introducing another match function. So I will put a comma and write the match function. So that is the match function. So it will ask me again the lookup array. The lookup array is this April, and then comma. The lookup value is that, and then the lookup array is now, in this case, is our column, which is this one. So I will select this, and then put comma, put exact match, and then close the bracket. Or we can't accept here. So if we accept, we are getting the value. If we accept, we are getting the value. We are getting the value. So that is the use of in-text formula. That is the use of in-text formula. We are getting the same result. Let's confirm whether Kisii is 120. If it is April, this is counties. Kisii iko wapi? Kisii iko wapi? Yeah, Kisii, April. We are getting 320. Which means so there's something that we are missing here, because we are not getting Kisii 320. 320, Kisii County 320. So maybe because we selected the entire column here. So let's try to select from this table, which this one. Let's try to select from counties here. Put your cursor, shift page down. That is it. And then let's see if we are getting the value. Now we have 90 giving us for Bungoma. So I think, but that is approach. So it's giving us for Bungoma, Kisii County. But so it needs to be. So still, even to this one also, we can choose the Xlookup to get or the Vlookup to get this value. We can choose the Xlookup to get this value. Can use the Xlookup to get that value. So that is the how to use the in-text. Now, if we try to use the Xlookup, can we able to get the Xlookup using this value? Yes. So I will use Xlookup. It will ask me the lookup array. So the first lookup array here is Kisii, which is Kisii County, comma. The lookup array. The lookup array here is in the amount of first you put that column B. We don't need to lock this, comma. It will ask you the return array. The return array, it is in the month of April. It is in the month of April. So the return array will be column F, and then you click enter. So you get exact match. So you can see this one, Xlookup is giving us exact value, which is this one. Unlike the in-text and match, which it was giving us 913. So in this case, you can see Excel, which is more, which give you the correct values each and every time, is the Xlookup. If you use index, it give you sometimes you get wrong values, but this one it give you the correct value. It give you the correct value. So that is, so in that case, you can make a comparison between the index match and the Xlookup. So in this case, the Xlookup is more powerful, or it is good compared to index and match. So you should be making notes. Which function should I learn? So after that, now you will have done the comparison of the three, the index, the Vlookup, and the Xlookup. So there is now a new Excel function, which also it will outsmart these other three Excel functions, which we call it Dget. We call it Dget. So how do we use this Dget? How do we use this Dget? So it's very simple compared to other three. Here, we just need to put equals Dget. It will ask you the database. It will ask you the database. So your database, we said you select the first column or the row, and then choose the shortcut keys, shift page down. If you put that shift page down, you are going to select the entire data, and then put a comma. It will ask you the field. It will ask you for the field. So the field we are looking at here is April. We are looking for the month of April, and then comma. We are looking for the month of April, and then you put a comma. Once you put a comma, it will ask you the criteria. It will ask you the criteria. So in this case, the criteria is the counties here, So you select the two. So you make sure that you select the two, and then you put, you don't need even to close the bracket, just type in enter, and you will get the value. So you are getting the same value here, which is 11,777, and the same. So you can see with index, Vlookup, Xlookup, all that, you can get the same results. But now, which one is so Dget is the easy in those four: Xlookup, Vlookup, index, and match. So Dget is very simple. It's very simple. But now this one, it has its own limitation. It has its own limitation. For example, if this one, instead of counties, you have written county, you have written county, you can see you will not get the value because it's giving you hashtag value, which means this one is not the same. This one is not the same as county. This one is counties, but this one is county. So that is the only limitation of Dget. What about this one? Will not change. Even if you write here, even if you remove this one here, it will not change. You will still get the value. You will still get the value. So that is the limitation of Dget. So it's a very easy formula, but it has its own limitation. It has its own limitation. So any question from there? We have done a bit, quite of a number of formulas, and maybe you have been trying to solve certain scenario, but you don't know how to use these Xlookup and Vlookup, index and match. So this is just a simple illustration on how to use it, but if we enroll in our class that is financial modeling and advanced class, you see how we apply this one in coming up with the financial management or management accounts, forming the payroll, doing the reconciliation. We also use this VLOOKUP, and also doing the what? The product report. And doing the product report. A good example of a report which you will be asked is that, so how many of you are using QuickBooks for managing the financial data of the companies you are working? The companies you are working. So if you are using QuickBooks, you need to understand, or any accounting softwares, because the accounting software will not give you the end report. So because you need to extract the data from QuickBooks or any accounting software, in form of Excel. Then from there, you do a data analysis, because maybe in the morning, the director asks you, give me the summary of cash sales, or the payment. The M-Pesa is asking you for M-Pesa, is also asking you for the bank or the direct debit, and checks. And it is asking for what? For 9 months, or the last 9 months, for the last 9 months. So if you don't know this Excel function, it will take you 2 days trying to generate this report, because it will ask you, give me the summary of the cash payment, the M-Pesa payment, the bank transfer, or the debit, and the checks for the last 9 months. If you go into that QuickBook or any other accounting software, you get a quite number of data. So you need to know how to use these Vlookup, Xlookup, the sum if function, so that you can know how to generate this report within a given minute, maybe even 10 minutes. That 10 minutes is just you are waiting to export data into Excel. After that, you use your 5 minutes and get your report done. So if you don't, if you haven't challenged yourself to learn these things, then you have been having a hard time trying to get all these data, or all this report manually. Now, so let's now look at another comparison. Now, in this comparison, we are looking at the limitation. We have seen how to use this function, but we want to see the limitation of, because Xlookup, Vlookup, index, and merge, the most powerful here is Xlookup and Dget. But when we compare again Xlookup and Dget, we find that Dget is the most easy formula compared to Xlookup. Reason is, let's look at this complicated one. Here now we have more than one scenario. We have April, and also we have January. What about if you want to interchange your data here? Are you going to get the results? Let's start with the Xlookup. Let's start with the Xlookup equals Xlookup. It asks us the lookup value. We have said that the lookup value is the value we are looking at. This one, in this case, is counties. And then put the comma. The lookup array is the column of counties, which is this one. We locked that. Yes, it is better to lock. F4, you locked comma. And then it will ask you the return array. The return array here we want for the month of, they are asking for the month of April. For the month of April. So our return array is this one. And then you put enter, you get your value. So let's look at Nairobi County, whether in April, that is the value. Yes, Nairobi County. So April, this is the value. This is the value. Now, let's apply the Dget equals Dget. We said this one, it is asking you for database. Database, select this, press Control Shift, page down. You get that, comma, your field. The field is asking for which field? Which field? The field is April, comma, our criteria is this one, and then close that bracket. We are getting the same value. So it performed the same function, but now let's look at the limitation. What happened if I paste my formula across so that I can get the value of January? Which Excel function shortcut keys do we use to paste the formula across? Let me see if you guys have been doing research on advanced Excel. Esther, I can see Esther, Wesley, Caroline. So which Excel function do we use to copy the formula across? Which one? I am not seeing any chart. I'm not seeing any chart. So which mean you are telling me silence also is an answer, which mean you are telling me you haven't tried to get it. So try to be to hurt yourself your CV added advantage, so that you have been asked, have you used advanced Excel? Do you know data analysis? You can say yes, because that guy can give you a computer right there to just apply, because that I've gone through that through certain interviews. So make sure that try as much as possible to get these advanced Excel formulas. So now, if I want to copy my formula across, I don't even need to track this one, as most people do that. I only need to select this and then click Control R. Control R. You click Control R. If you click Control R, if you click Control R, you will find that our formula is giving us hashtag not available, which means the formula is correct, but the data is not available. Reason is, put your cursor here, check the reference, check the reference. The column is not okay, because we are not looking for the month of April, we are looking for the month of January. What about the lookup value? The lookup value also is not okay. Reason is, it has jumped from column I4 to J4 which is not our case. We are looking for country. So it should, this I4 should be stationed. This I4 should be stationed, so that if I copy my formula down across, it will station here. It will not be moving to this cell. So what do we need to do with this formula? So in this case, we need to lock that formula, that lookup value. We locked by using event for. So if you locked and then try to copy the formula across, Control R, you get now the value, which is the same as April. You get the value which is the same as April. Why are we getting the same value as April? Because we haven't changed the column. So we need to go here and change the column of January to what? Of April to January, which is, in this case, it is column C. So we need to type here to column C, and come here and also type column C, and then enter. Now we can get the value in January, which is 9280, which is here, 9280. So you can see, for you to get for another period using Xlookup, you have to undergo certain changes. You change this, you change this, you change this. So it is a quite, it's time consuming also. What about the Dget? Let's try to Control R to see. Control R. Control R, this one, it doesn't have any complication. You get your answer as it is. So we don't need to change this, to change this, to change that. So you can see in this case, we are going to left out this Vlookup, Xlookup also in from last month, I started using the Dget. I left this one because Vlookup, I left long time ago, Vlookup. I'm no longer using the Vlookup. Once we got this Xlookup, we started using this Xlookup. Now we are getting another one called Dget. So which means we are going to leave this one, Xlookup, because Xlookup, for you to get other data, you need to undergo certain changes. But here is just Control R. If I want for month of what? If I want all months here, let's see, we want March and February and March. So I will only copy my values here and then put the formula here, Control R. You can see I will get all the values. I will get all the values. So that is the use of Dget. That is the use of Dget. Now I know most of you have never used what is called wildcard. Oh, I can see the chat. Yes, the recorded full one I will share. So make sure that you register through this link. We said you register our class, free class, through this link. You will get the recorded one. So let me post that link also in the chat so that you can be able to register. I will be able to get your email and I will be able to share the video. We also have our classes which run on Tuesday and Thursday for advanced Excel, and you look at all these advanced Excel and now application when it comes to the what? Financial information. This one was just a simple how to use it. But now in our advanced classes, we look at how to apply. like how to develop a payroll using this all Xlookup and Vlookup, how to develop a certain stocks management system using all these things. So that is now application, but here we are seeing the simple use of this function. Now we have another one called wildcard. So anyone who has an information about the wildcard, so wildcard is a simple Excel function which it is used also for the Xlookup. For example, Xlookup is looking for exact value which is written Nairobi County. If I write something else here, like I omit or, I will not get the value. If I omit or, you can see it is asking me not available. It is asking me not available. I write Nairobi. What about if we omit, this one should be small. If I write that one, I get. What about if I omit county? If I omit county, am I going to get the value? I'm not going to get the value. That is now when we need to use what is called a wildcard. That's when we need to use what is called a wildcard. So you can see this function only will work if you have that exact value, if you have that exact value. So in this case, I will incorporate what is called the wildcard so that I can be able to get, even if I write one word here, I can be able to get here. So let's first write in full Nairobi County. Let's copy our county here, our city county here. We get that value. Now let's incorporate this formula here. I will say if that, and then I will bring in here, say if and, where is that and? And then two quotation, where is that two quotation? That one, asterisk formula, the two quotation also, which is okay. Here at the end, because it is asking us, let's try now. Let's use double quotes. If you put double quotes and use two is for asterisk. We are not getting the, so let's use another version here, or the names here. It is the same. So let's use the names here equals Xlookup, and then in this case, this is our Xlookup. The lookup, the name is the Michael. We need to know the cells of the Michael, the same. And then use the asterisk, that one, and the asterisk opening quotation. Use the asterisk formula, close the quotation, and then to put the comma. It will ask you the return array. Our return array is the column B, which is for names. I'll close that. It will ask you the return array. The return array is our column C, which is for sales. Now, we don't need even to lock that. After that, you close the bracket and then put, before even you close the bracket, you can see it is asking you to put, to use, if you put a comma, you can see here, if you put a comma, is asking you if not found, or the match mode. So if we use two quotation here, we can get the match mode. So the match mode will be able to give you the wildcard character. So you put the wildcard character there and then close the bracket, enter. So you should be able to get that. You can see this one is Michael, but in our list here, we have the Michael Brown. We have the Michael Brown. So if you remove this wildcard, you will not be able to get that value, because if I remove this wildcard, remember the wildcard is only this one. So if I remove this, and then also I remove this, I will not get the value until I write in full Michael, until I write in full Michael. So that's how we use the wildcard. That's how we use the wildcard. And that will make the end of our session today. We said that we have the running advanced class, which we teach you on the application of all these functions. And you will get this video. If you wish to join our class also, that you can, we have your emails, and then we will share also our course outline and what you need to cover in that advanced Excel. So thank you guys for joining this session. And each and every Monday, we have a lunch hour timing, which we do different Excel functions. So unless there is any question. So try to challenge yourself using advanced Excel function each and every day. If it is even a simple task, try to imagine which Excel function can I use. That is the only way to master it. But if you say that advanced Excel, I want to learn advanced Excel, and you are not trying to incorporate in your daily activities, then you will not get, or you will just learn this thing and also you will need another time to learn. So try to make sure that you are trying to use it, even if you are doing a small task which doesn't need the formula, so that you can master. And the good thing is, once you master, you will get, if you have been given any project, should be able to figure out very fast which formula can I apply here. So try to do that and you will see the result. So thank you. Let me stop there. And you will get your video and also the Excel template once you have registered with that link. So it is a free link. You only need the name and the email. So nothing else. We don't need any other information.